The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM Software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users, on demand on iTunes and on YouTube, and on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you are encouraged to post your comments whether you agree with yours truly or not. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated across the United States into 12 million additional households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten. Today, one of my favorite guys in the world is joining us. I've enjoyed his work forever. Comedian Richard Lewis. He's been featured on 6 seasons of the standout HBO comedy series Curb Your Enthusiasm. He is on his Misery Loves Company stand-up tour. Public Affairs Books has reissued his memoir, The Other Great Depression. I'm holding the book up for those of you on Paltalk so you can see it. And no, this is not the depression of our parents, the economic depression of our parents. This is the depression of Richard Lewis. It was, I guess, originally released in 2000. It's been re-released. There's a companion documentary called Richard Lewis Naked. And I guess there's an audio version of this as well for those of you who are reading impaired. And I'm told that Richard Lewis is developing his own dark ensemble comedy while praying that Larry David will be inspired for a 7th season of Curb. Richard Lewis, welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
I not only disagree with everything you just said, but I'm going to blog it. I'm going to just destroy you.
Yes, sir. Just make sure you spell my name right.
Wait, I will. I'll have to Google it, but don't worry about it. Now, listen, everything you said, I felt so old. I went, when I was walking around after I graduated at Ohio State, or rather the Ohio State, apparently the there is important. I was walking around broke. My father just died. I said, what am I thinking? And 38 years later, I tell a lot of young, I don't care if they're poets or comedians or ballet dancers, but, you're getting into the arts. You better remember that Van Gogh saw one painting and cut his ear off, you know what I mean? So you better just want to do this for a lifetime because there's no guarantee. So I felt pretty good hearing all that stuff because, 38 years later, I'm still on the phone with you and, I'm still selling tickets and writing and whatever I'm doing. And, by the way, I just want to be very clear on one thing, and then I'll shut up and you can ask me anything you want. I'm pretty fearless at this point because I could drop dead at any moment, to be frank. The thing is, they reissued the book. I did some new writing, and I did put an audio book out. It'll be out in about 3 weeks. And to read that tale of dysfunctions and drug addiction and sex, drugs, not all of it's dark. There's I think some funny essays, but, I did it because Curb has become, if people love Curb, they really love it. And if people don't know it, they could care less if they don't like it. So be it. But there's something, when I do a show now, and there's kids who were only 13 or 14, and didn't maybe, and I'm sure maybe didn't know the men in tights. A lot of them are drug addicts and alcoholics, so a lot of them, if I say just one life without sounding, so grandiose or, it's worth it. So they republished it. I did some new writing and did the audio thing, and I basically, I'm not going to make braille for this stuff. It's mainly to see if I can, change someone like my life was changed almost 14 years ago. Not to mention, and lastly, on all these entertainment shows at night, you basically see, these young 20-something in and out of rehab, and then the next night they're naked in the back of a limo. So I've been sober for 14 years, so it can work.
Yeah, and I want to get into that a little bit. One thing about Curb Your Enthusiasm, and we're praying that there's a 7th season as well, by the way, is I don't know.
What?
I don't know Larry David, but I do know Kenny Kramer, his buddy, the real Kramer. He says that is Larry playing Larry. And unlike the others on that show who are playing other characters, you're actually playing yourself. How difficult is that, being Richard Lewis?
Well, it's difficult being me to begin with, so you can just imagine. I mean, it's like it's a little more hyperbolic because you want to be entertaining and I mean, look, I tell myself, Larry, Kramer, I know Kenny as well, and getting a call from Kenny Kramer is like getting a call from Felix the cat at the lobby. No, I he was a great guy to hang with too because he lived right across the hall. But here's the deal, Larry David, I just had lunch with him. We just finished a Woody Allen film and be out in a year, I guess. And the truth of the matter is, he really did like Seinfeld unplugged, I think, on Curb. He's really hitting some pretty dark comedic areas. He was a brilliant stand-up that he never pursued, but he's really hitting his mark on Curb, and I'm proud to be part of it. I think it's a tremendously authentic show, and it's pretty dark and it's pretty good. I don't think he could do much more television sitcom than what he's doing and the subjects he's tackling. I think it's pretty courageous.
Now, are you on your cell phone? Are you taking a shower while you're talking to us? Because the connection's pretty bad.
Cell phone, you can't hear me at all? Is that the deal?
I can hear you, but it just sounds. But it's okay. We'll muddle through it. Maybe during the break, in a few minutes, we'll give you a chance to call back in on another line. In the book.
How do you know? I mean, if you take a break, I'll try from a landline. I haven't had trouble. I think you may have some emotional problems because I hadn't had trouble with anyone on this cell in this hotel room other than you. You sure you don't need a phone intervention?
Yeah, it just kind of fades in and out, but maybe it's me fading in and out. I don't know. In your book, the other great...
What about that? I think you're blaming you. I think your fans are already writing to you that you're blaming Richard, who's a recovering drug addict, and you got to give me a little credit. Maybe it's your fault.
Oh, no, they're giving you credit. They're staying with you. Don't worry about it. Nobody's leaving. In the book...
I'll call you back on a landline after the break. You just give me the number. I'll just call you on the same number. And then...